Welcome to In Her Voice, a podcast created for women who listen to and live by their deepest wisdom, their inner voice. This was made for you, the woman who feels pulled to more, to lead, to create, to dream, and to be a world changer. My name is Kelly Covert, and I am an inner voice coach. Join me here each week as we explore what it means to reach for your inspired potential, all while honoring your worthiness each and every day. Hello, everyone. This is Kelly. Thank you so much for joining me today for this episode of In Her Voice. I am thrilled to be talking to you today about kinder habits. As you know, if you've been listening over the past few weeks, in my solo episodes, I've been talking a lot about enoughness, about what enoughness is and why it's important. And this week, I'm going to share with you one of the keys to your enoughness. This is a key to help you cultivate your own enoughness, and that is kinder habits. So the other day I was sharing this with someone and she said, what exactly is a kinder habit? And I love that question because it really allowed me to have a deeper understanding of all different kinds of habits. So a kinder habit is a habit, like I said, that helps you cultivate enoughness. It is a kinder way of showing up for yourself over and over again than maybe you are used to. A lot of us, particularly if you are a chronic overachiever or a recovering perfectionist, you might be used to creating habits that are punishing or having what I call should habits. And so I want to talk about the different kind of habits before we get into breaking down how to create your own kinder habits. I love habits anyway, but when I started writing this down and really coming to this understanding of I really get it. I really understand it. It was like a light bulb went off in my head. So the first kind of habits that I want to talk about are the punishing habits. And like I said, if you are a recovering perfectionist or a current perfectionist, or if you are a chronic overachiever, a type A kind of person, these might feel familiar to you. A punishing habit is something that stems from internal pressure. So an example of a punishing habit is negative self-talk. We can get into a habit of negative self-talk that is so punishing and so damaging to ourselves, and it will never help us feel enough. In fact, it does the opposite of that. It reminds us constantly of how we are not enough, that we never measure up, that things aren't good enough. And this is it's detrimental to our spirit. So if you practice negative self-talk, if negative self-talk is a habit for you, and it was for me for a really long time, so trust me, I get it, then that is a punishing habit. It stems from the internal pressure to do something different or to be different than you are right now. Another example of a punishing habit is perfectionism, the habit of perfectionism, the habit of requiring yourself to do everything without making mistakes and perfectly with all of the, I's dotted and all of the T's crossed all of the time. That is a punishing habit because you can't be perfect. You're not perfect. And so if that's the requirement, if that's what you're expecting of yourself all the time, then naturally you're going to be disappointed. Naturally, you're not going to live up to that. And you can see how a pattern of perfectionism is going to keep you from feeling good enough. It's going to keep you from cultivating your enoughness. It actually kills your enoughness. Another example of a punishing habit is when you say, well, I'm eating pizza tonight, so I'm going to work out extra double hard today to make up for the fact that I'm eating pizza. Or I had chocolate cake last night, so I need to run for an extra half hour to burn off the calories. So that is like actual punishment, I think. And I know a lot of people get into this mindset of, well, if I do X, then to make up for it, I have to do Y. And so that is a kind of punishing habit. And you can see that a punishing habit isn't necessarily what we would call a bad habit, right? I mean, we can all think of bad habits. Bad habits are habits that you just don't want at all. Bad habits like scrolling on social media, eating mindlessly, hitting the snooze button, not flossing. I'm guilty of that bad habit. Judging others, drinking too much, staying up late. These are all habits that I feel like are objectively bad. But when you look at punishing habits, a lot of times they can seem like good habits. And there's nothing wrong with working out. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be excellent, right? There's nothing wrong with trying to, quote unquote, encourage yourself. But you have to really be mindful of the way that you're doing that, because it can slip into what I call that punishing habit, a habit that stems from our own internal pressure to be different than who we are being in that moment. And that is really tough. And, one of the ways to know if something is a punishing habit is if it feels mean. If the voice in your head that's telling you to do something feels harsh or mean or unloving, chances are that that is a punishing habit, and that is not something that is going to cultivate your enoughness. So another kind of habit that does not help to cultivate enoughness is what I call the should habits. These are habits that stem from external pressure. So maybe you think according to they, right? The great they, but that there is something that you should be doing. This may be a family expectation. It may be something that you see, healthy people doing. So you think that you need to do it like that in order to be healthy. So some examples of that are, the way you eat. I should eat low carb or vegan or plant-based or, whatever, paleo, you name the kind of eating. There's all different styles of diets. And if you're doing that because you think you should be doing that, rather than because you know that that's what's best for you coming from your inner voice, then that is a should habit. Another example of a should habit, and I see this all the time. And I think this one's super interesting because, like the punishing habits, these should habits are sort of in the disguise of being good habits. They hide themselves and they're treated like good habits, but it's really about the intention that makes them kinder habits or not. So another should habit is, I should really get up earlier. I feel especially in the personal development space, there is this feeling like if you don't get up early, then you're not really serious about who you are and about your own personal development and your own health and all that stuff. Like the earlier, the better. And I used to buy into that because I want to be the best that I can be. And I think that that's a big driver for all of us. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. But when that driver, that ambition causes us to think we have to do certain things in order to be perceived a certain way, then that is not going to help us feel our own enoughness. Maybe we'll get some external praise for those habits, but unless they're really coming from our inner voice, then they're not going to cultivate our enoughness. So, you can get up as early as you want, but if you hate it and it puts you in a bad mood every day and it's fooling around with your natural rhythms of sleep, then that's probably not the best thing for you. And that's okay. Everybody has a different rhythm, so I like to get up between 6 and 6:30. That's a great time for me. And that's not because I think I should get up at that time. It's just because that's the time that I naturally wake up, and that actually works out really great in my schedule. And I could try to get up earlier than that to prove a point to myself or to others that I am good enough, or that I am really serious about meditating or doing yoga or working out at that time. But if it's not what I really need, if it's not what my body really needs, then it's not serving a good purpose. I hope that this makes sense. Another one that I see happening a lot, another should habit, is I should work out every day no matter what. Get your 30 minutes in every single day no matter what. There's a certain personality, shall we say, on Instagram that, no matter what, she gets her workout in, that's hard to say, every single day no matter what, even if she's exhausted. Well, I don't buy that. I don't believe in that should. I feel that we need to be connected with our inner voice, and we need to listen to our body. And yeah, movement can be a kinder habit. It can be something really productive, but only if the intention is behind it. I hope that makes sense. So the should habits stem from an external pressure to look a certain way, or to be a certain way, or to do a certain thing because that seems like what you should be doing, but maybe not actually what you want or desire. So that brings us to kinder habits. These are my favorite kind of habits. These are the kind of habits that I want to cultivate because I know these are the habits that help me feel good enough day after day after day. And the key to understanding what your kinder habits need to be, because they're different for every single person, is understanding what you want and how you want to feel. So in my enoughness workshop, we go over this. We talk about, we dig in, and we do some journaling, we do some meditating on, what are my desires and how do I want to feel? And so when you start to get a clearer picture of your desires and your desired feelings, then you create your kinder habits out of those. And that's all in connection with your inner voice. So kinder habits feel really good. They're not necessarily easy, and they're not necessarily fun. That's not what I mean by the fact that they're kinder. But when you do them over and over and over again, it reaffirms to you that you are enough. And it helps you feel the way you want to feel, and helps you get closer to the things that you most desire. So I want to go over sort of like some examples of ways that we want to feel, and then the habits that you can create out of those. And this is always, always, always done in connection with your inner voice, asking your inner voice, what habit do I need? Not listening to Kelly and doing the habit that she has, although some of them might overlap and you might get ideas for these habits, but that is 100% personal. So really, this is about being in connection with your inner voice in order to cultivate these habits that bring you your feeling of being good enough every day. So here's an example of a desired feeling. I want to feel healthy. I think that seems to me pretty universal. So I thought that was a good one to choose. Now, if I'm journaling on this, I'm going to ask myself the question, what habits will help me feel healthy? And I do this when I'm in a place of stillness, when I'm in a place of quiet, that I can listen to my inner voice. And, you just simply write down everything that comes up. Eating veggies, drinking 100 ounces of water a day, or whatever the amount is. Remember, we're not getting into the shoulds. This is all about you. Moving my body daily, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Whatever habits come up for you that will help you feel healthy, you simply write them down. And remember, right now, we're just kind of looking at what kinds of habits we can cultivate to help us feel like we're good enough every single day. The beautiful thing about these kinds of habits is they help you feel how you want to feel now. not when you accomplish the thing. So going backwards a little bit, instead of focusing on feeling healthy, a lot of times people focus on the goal. So I want to lose 20 pounds because then I'm going to feel healthy. But what if you could feel healthy now before you lost the 20 pounds? There's nothing wrong with losing 20 pounds if that's what you feel drawn to do. But if you're waiting to feel healthy until you lose that weight, I think that there's a better way. There's a way where we can feel healthy now. I don't know about you, but man, when I drink a green smoothie in the morning, I feel healthy. And so what a great habit that would be if you really want to feel healthy every day and you know that drinking a green smoothie every day is going to help you feel healthy, then drink a green smoothie. Boom, you feel healthy. So that is a kinder habit. And the beautiful thing about it is when you do that habit over and over and over again, you see the accruing results of that and you feel the accruing results of that. I feel like there's a word for that has to do with savings, but I can't think of it right now. And I know that someone will think of it and you can let me know what I mean by accruing, like exponential, right? So let's do another one. What another desired feeling that I have is I want to feel grounded, or another word that you could use is centered. I just want to feel like steady in my body, in my soul, in my mind. So when I ask my inner voice, what are the habits that help me feel grounded? These are the things that come up for me: walking outside, meditation, yoga, no phone in my bed. This is a big one, you guys. Deep breathing, daily gratitude. Those are all things that help me feel grounded. And now I can imagine what you might be thinking is, well, geez, that's a lot of habits. Do I have to do all of those habits? Or how am I going to do all those habits? The point is not to do all of them. The point is to see what is available to you and focus on 3 or 4 every single month. It's as easy as that. And it's as simple as that. You can also create kinder habits from your desires. So here's an example. I want a peaceful home. That is a desire of mine. So when I sit still and I ask my inner voice, if I want a peaceful home, what habits will bring me closer to that? Some of the things that come up are declutter my countertops every week. This seems really simple, right? And how does that work, right? Because when my countertops are clean, I feel more peaceful. So that's really connecting to what is going to help me feel like I'm living in a peaceful home. What is going to create a peaceful home for me? Having clear countertops. So once a week, declutter my countertops. Family dinners create a great sense of peace in my home. I notice that the more that we sit down together, the more peaceful our house is. So that is a priority. So I want to make sure that I'm having family dinners 3 to 4 times a week. And I prioritize that. And so again, I just shared 3 things, right? The 2 feelings: I want to feel healthy and I want to feel grounded. And then a desire: I want a peaceful home. So what I might do for the upcoming month is choose one habit from each of those and put that in my habit tracker. And I'm calling it, of course, the Kinder Habit Tracker. And I'm going to see how, if I can do those. It's going to keep it top of mind for me. It's going to remind me of what I say I want to do. So I really encourage you to sit down and think about what you want and think about how you want to feel and see if you can come up with some kinder habits of your own. And if this feels like a lot, I would love for you to join me in the Enoughness workshop, my habits workshop. I'm having one actually this Thursday, October 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern. These are all online, so you can join from anywhere. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to kellycovert.com/habits. And you can sign up there, or if there's not one happening currently, then you can get on the wait list. Another way that you can help yourself develop kinder habits is to schedule a deep dive session with me. This is what we do. This is one of the things that we can get clarity around for you, is what are the kinder habits that you can cultivate to help you feel enough every single day. And I would love to help you with that. And so again, you can go right to kellycovert.com and you can sign up for that. And lastly, I am creating the enoughness planner. And this whole process, kinder habits are just a part of the process, but the whole desire process and all of that will be included in the planner. It's going to have daily pages. It's going to have a habit tracker for you for 3 months. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this, y'all. I just really can't wait to roll this out. And it is going to be coming hopefully before the end of the year. And so if you would like to get on the wait list for that, you can go to kellycovert.com/enoughness. And there will be a lot more on that coming soon. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, I want you to know you matter. And you are enough. You are enough every single day. Whether you feel it or not, you are enough. And there are things you can do to help cultivate your own feeling of enoughness. You deserve to feel good enough. You are worthy.